like the eyes of a cat in the black and blue. Something is coming for you. Look out! Race for the morning. You can hide in the sun till you see the light. Oh, we will praise, alright. Gonna get away. Get away. Between the velvet lies, there's a truth that's hard as steel, yeah. I'll say the players will never die. That's a never-ending wheel. Say, holy diver, you're the star of the masquerade. No need to look so afraid. Jump! I jumped that tiger. You see he's hot, but you know he's free. Some like to never be seen.
How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody here. See some new faces. Mercurius is here. Old standby. And look who I see in the chat. I see him in the chat, and I'm just going to pluck him out. Plop. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
How he's getting along. Yeah.
James.
I'm not often on camera, so I'm not, I must say. So, well, it's not that unusual. The best comment I ever got was, this was a few years back, there was a video, I'll need to send it to you. It's a really funny video. And Ozzy was in his, you know, that like Wee Walker theme thing? You know,
yeah.
Like, yeah, one of those ones. Megan put like a sieve on his head and a, what do you call them? A whisk, like a Darlac or whatever. And it was very adorable. And I got a comment on it saying, "Oh, thank God you're white." There was a big meme of me being like, apparently I was like a London Indian or something like that for ages. I don't know. I thought it was funny. So there you guys go.
You're not worried about like being canceled or anything?
No. Well, yeah, I think I've diversified enough that honestly, cancellation's more like a state of mind at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you like Alex Jones managed to avoid it pretty well. Same with Sam Hyde. You know, there's been people that you think like, oh, I mean, they're done for. You're never going to see them again. Like they are completely and utterly done for. But like, you know, when there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a state of mind, as I say. But like, you know, I would say I'm definitely, when it comes to YouTube, I'm on like, I would say I'm just doing like life support at this point. You know what I mean? Like I used to do 5 videos a week, and now I just do like 1. You know what I mean? Well, technically 2 on like, you know, 2 different channels, but that's about it. You know what I mean?
It's really hard. Well, let me clean up the super chat here from our old friend Hungar, the Starvarian. $10. Have a beer on me.
Thanks, Nate.
I'll be doing that later tonight, Hungar. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, YouTube is look, it's been pretty good to me. But I can see where some people like feel after a while like they have to be a slave to the algorithm and start, you know, and I don't want to do that. You know, it's like I don't want to start looking at search patterns and be like, oh, I got to do a video on this now. And it's like, that's not why I did this. This is like a my avocation, not my vocation. So
yeah,
I'd honestly rather just do shit that I just want to do rather than, you know.
I would argue that's like the best way to go about it though, because like I think you see that a lot with like, especially like 5e channels, you know, and you can tell like half of them just don't care for 5e anymore. You know,
Bob the World Builder. He is.
Oh yeah, he's a good example of that. He's I think he's pretty public about that now at this point, anyway.
Well, he is, but he won't abandon it because you know he knows where
the money is. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Mercurius, Olicus, where there's a whip, there's a way. Yep, great song. All right, talk for a moment, James. I got to check something on my internet access.
All right, not to worry. So, how you guys been at? There, albino goblin. I mean, I would think I'm more of a troll than a goblin at this stage. Not gonna lie, man. You know, Corny gets the bunk. Of course they do. They always get the bunk. You know, Paddy, what you out anyway?
Ta-da! We're back.
Yeah.
my Ethernet cable came out. I was effing around with stuff last night, and then the damn thing came unplugged.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. I mean, I don't like doing a stream in Wi-Fi because it'll get buggy after a while.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. All right, so you're always busy. You're one of these guys I always feel like the kids are all right, like the next generation is good.
I think it depends on mindset, I think, for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's like a sink or swim. So like I'll give you like a bit of backstory for me. So like I did YouTube. I was just making like the odd video, and I had a few that like really took off. And then I got in trouble in work over some bullshit. And then I got a week off work essentially. And I was like, all right, okay, well then I'll spend this week and I'll just pump out videos for the whole week. And I was really slow at the time, like seriously slow. Like it took me a whole day to make one video. You know what I mean? It was really bad. And I'd made almost the same amount of money from doing that I had my actual job, and I was like, oh mate, like that's me. I did another like 2-3 months, and I was like, right, no, I'm quitting. See you guys about. I hated the job. You know what I mean? Like, play this. I was a kitchen porter. You know what I mean?
What is that? A kitchen porter?
A kitchen porter. So it's like I worked for.
Oh, a kitchen porter.
Yeah. So a dishwasher, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I was like,
and we've all done it. You know, everybody's done those jobs. So
what age was I though? I think I was. I just finished. I wasn't long finished tech or like community college. I was only finished it for like a year or so. And it was one of those ones I was just like, hey, fuck this, sink or swim. I'm just going to have to go for it. And, you know what I mean? Well, when did I start? August 2018. So, like,
not that long ago, really.
Well, no, that's 5 years, you know. And then, well, put it like this, I'm 30 this month. So, like, you know, for me, that's kind of long.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
in comparison, you know what I mean?
We have different perspectives.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's sink or swim. You know what I mean? And I think if you're put in a situation where it's like, right, if I feel I'm kind of done for, man, not gonna lie, I think you kind of have to do that a lot of the time. You know, and I think a lot of people are just scared of
take a
what
chance.
If I feel, you know. Megan always gives me grief about this sort of stuff. It's like, James, all you and your crazy ideas. Like, yeah, but more ideas tend to work out. Like, she was glaring at me over the 3D printing. like at the start, and she was like, "Well, you don't have a limb for this." It's like, "Yeah, I'll just use the spargum. We're not using that for anything." She's like, "It's like, well, okay." It kind of worked out pretty well so far, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, if you just take a chance on stuff, that's what I think. Well, a lot of people, if you just actually work towards it, I think you'll be all right. You know?
Well, you gotta have a high motor.
Yeah.
Like you do. Let me clean up the super chat from our friend Asterian Moloch. $5, pure, unfiltered Kino of an intro. Thank you very much. Yeah, glad you enjoyed. We had a really good time making that. Mrs. D and all my buddies. Those are all my friends. Like Crazy Mouse is in there. Rogan, Gavin Morgan.
Where did you get the cover from? Or is that the original song or what?
No, I went on. I couldn't do the like if you searched for the actual music video, it is you'll get demonetized completely, or no, you'll be hidden. It'll be hidden.
Yeah.
So I had to do like there was like a pretty good version. That was it. I don't. Is it live? It might be live. But it was the best quality one that they had, where they would only demonetize you. So I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, I'll take it. You know, like, well, let's be serious. Like, you know, let's be like, when it comes to live streams, like, you know, there's not. It's all about like, you know, super chats. Let's be serious. Like, you know, they're showing really heavily on the day, and then after that, like, you know, it's a massive, like, you know, massive drop off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they will demonetize. I mean, they'll. It's not like they kind of deprioritize it, but I mean, there's just a certain lifespan for live streams. I mean, it's there, and then your fans who couldn't see it kind of watch it afterward, and then it's just dribs and drabs after that. So that was always my thing. Is like I'll play copyrighted music if it makes kind of like the show better.
Yeah,
I got no problem doing that stuff. So
I think that's the way to go about it. You know.
All right, so you're a guy who has many irons in the fire, and you were very kind to me. You know, when I first started YouTube, you kind of reached out pretty quick and just said, "Hey, I like what you're doing, blah blah blah," and then that that meant a lot to me. So I want to thank you publicly.
Oh, thanks.
But you also included me in one of your projects along with a bunch of other people. So
that's a long time to say. You know, I've got this Chinese woman that keeps messaging me. She's like, "James, you got cards? You got cards?" I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake, please leave me alone." Mate, I've dealt with fucking art. Like, see, artists, man. Like, honestly, I'm at the, like, look, see at the start, I really felt for like AI art. It was kind of trash at the start, and like, honestly, I did feel really bad for artists, but. Man, I need to get stuff done, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not an artist, and like, I'm sure everyone knows, like, the stereotypical artists that live in fucking make-believe land. You know what I mean? It's like, the work will get done. The work will get done. It's like, mate, I need results. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, I'm sure anyone who's like can remember skill, like good projects. Like, could you imagine doing that over the internet with thousands of miles between you, and you like there's no stick to poke people? It's like, come on. Where's my art about skate? Where's the art? You know what I mean? And it's like, right, we'll get there.
It seems AI art was made for folks like you and Miguel and Sylvia of Red Room, just people who are like, look, I don't have time to F around. I'd love to have a real artist if I could, but you cannot keep up with my schedule.
Yeah.
And where we are sort of on the pecking order, it's not like you can just hire a team of artists and just kind of bang it out that way, because you'll never get the money back.
See, that's the problem I've got with like wizards and whatnot. Like, that's my biggest problem I've got with them, especially in big companies. Is like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what do you guys do all day? You know what I mean? Like, how can you produce so little books at such little quality? So consistently, you know what I mean? Like, so many.
It's amazing, isn't
it?
Yeah, like, it is really amazing.
To be fair, like the last Wizards book I played, which I quite enjoyed, but I don't know. To be fair, I had a really good DM, and I don't know how much of it, because I know he changed a ton of it. Was Rime of the Philosophy, and I really enjoyed that adventure, so I did. And when that came out, like 2020, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometime like in the line there. And like, I thought that book was pretty good, but like since then it's like, no.
Yeah, I think I picked something from that book that I used, and it was good. I ran the Curse of Strahd straight out of the book when it, early on, and that was good. And then I've taken parts of the jungle one.
I played some of that. So I did, Annihilation, I think. Annihilation. So it was,
yeah.
Played some of that. So the way my mate was doing it, we were in a Spelljammer campaign, and we had like a few DMs. So pretty much he was doing like different planets and whatnot. So like, you know, Tomb of Annihilation was just like a separate planet, if that made any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but it was like all overarching within, combined into one. It was pretty good, honestly. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I kind of wanted to, because I wrote Roll and Birthright, which is pretty Western European, you know, and I'm like, let's, you know, not that things were getting stale, but I kind of wanted to change it up. So I'm like, how about you guys, you know, are you guys, you know, willing to go across the sea? So I essentially just had like a fantasy Africa, and I kind of stood in for it. It was good for a while.
Go with racism, man. What are you talking about? You can't do Africa. Like, you've got
co-opted it.
Mate, see, I really badly want to do African cyberpunk, because like, see, like Haiti and like Liberia in the 90s and whatnot. See, even like Rhodesia and all that sort of stuff. There's all this like really there's so many hooks that actually happen that would make great adventures. I'm like, why are you guys not working with this? Like, come on,
cannibal gangs.
Yeah, like that's perfect for like, you could do so much with that, and then they just don't do anything. I'm like, man, come on, like, you know,
broaden your horizons a little, step out of the box, as they say.
You know, that's one of those ones, like, you know, they want like representation, but then they don't at the same time, which is really, I don't know, unusual. I don't really understand it, to be honest with you.
You got someone here from your neck of the woods, William. James, AI art is God's punishment for artists online being so fucking annoying. Yes to that 100%. Yep. Good to see you, William.
I feel bad. I do feel bad, though. I do feel bad for artists a lot of the time. But like, see some of the artists I've came across and the quotes you get for the quality of their work. I'm like, mate, I'm not paying for that, man. I'm sorry. Like, you got to show me better quality. You know, I don't want.
The standard is high.
Yeah. Well, there's a few. No,
go ahead, James.
There's a few guys. I've got a guy for Death March, and he won't do AI art books, and that's fine, because like, you know, the type of people he works with, they wouldn't like it. And honestly, like, you know, he's really good. So he does a lot with like public domain art and whatnot. And honestly, the results he gets with public domain art, I think it's worth it. You know, he's a Brazilian fella. His stuff's really good, though, I must say. I really like his work. Like, you know, he did Volts of Varan, so he did. So like, you know, we'll see what happens with Death March. I hope it comes out well. You know, so far all he's done is the character sheet. Oh no, he did. He's done 5 spreads for thingy for. I'll upload these to you so I can. Video files, slides. You know what? I'll just dump them to you on Twitter, so that'll be the job. But they look pretty good, even though like the artwork still kind of whips. Oh, by the way, this is another good examples of class war. I started this book. I think before Ozzy was born, and it was almost written, so it was actually pretty much all done. But then the OGL happened, and it was actually about to go with it. And I was like, fuck that. So I have to just make it all over again. But it kind of worked out all well. But like, you know, what's that? Like, that's for the best part 4 years. And again, that's another example of just waiting for fucking artists to get the job done. But like, I don't want to turn this whole stream into going about artists.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you know, for God's sake, everyone's fucking sick of listening to AI art. Like, you know, it's just like, it's
there's nothing better than good, genuine art.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nothing will ever beat that. But look, good AI art is going to beat, you know, mediocre regular art usually, and certainly bad, you know, regular art. So
I had one person, and it was genuine, like Sonic OC shit they were sending me. I was like, hey, please don't, please, no, please. You know, people say I'm like horrible online, but I don't think I'm that bad. You know, I really don't. I'm like, oh man, sorry about that. Like, you know, I think I'm actually quite nice. You know what it is? Americans take me the long way. I find a lot of the time. Garblue says, like, you know, especially over messages, he says he's got no idea how to take me. Like, it's all about tone. He says I need to start using emojis or something for him to like understand me half the time. You know,
I can't see you using emojis. You're not an emoji guy.
No, I'm like 50 million messages back to back. I do like, you know, 30 seconds at a time. But
here's some of the stuff. I like that.
Yeah, so I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah,
you know? So hopefully, like, you know, it all comes together.
I dig it.
Termel's doing the guy that's doing he's
Our
doing
thing.
the color, so he is. Yeah, for Decker Clickers.
Mhm.
So like, we'll find out with him. Although I will say he's playing a lot of fucking Helldivers recently. I'm like, man, where's the art? It's like, Jeeves, oh. It's funny. It's funny. No, never mind. I can't talk too much about him, so I can't. No, I give him grief all the time because he's like, look on the top. Well, look, it's topical because he's a white South African, so I call him the White Devil all the time. So I
The White Devil.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Look, it's on topic. It's on topic. We're just talking about Africa, so that's fine. All right.
Yes,
I'm gonna kick off book on
absolutely.
Africa. Hey,
Chris,
gotta do
Chris,
it.
there he is, the man, Chris Miller,
Yeah.
the mad scribe himself. I wrote a kick-ass
Yeah.
book on Africa, and I think I need to do an African cyberpunk. Yes, Encore, which you can find on Drive-Thru. It is a very good book, very well thought out, well researched too. Full color, guys. Take a look at it. Chris is one of us. He's a
One of us. Yeah, he's on Deck of Clickers. Oh, I'm gonna close his window because the light's glaring, so it is.
It's okay.
Give me
You do
1
that.
second.
It's catch up with the chat a little bit here. How you doing, Chris? Mercurius, Jeff Hatch. Good to see you. Shout out some of the channel members too here. Let's see, Surly's here. And oh my lord, look at this. I guess I'll have to do streams in the afternoon to get ANN on the job. He's my only other mod. I made him my first mod.
Hey.
And then, of course, Cal Valoni, who's like the eternal mod. But yeah, he can never be here, I think, because he's down in Australia with you on the AA book and paying for non-AA book.
Yeah, well, so look, I suppose that's a good jumping point to go in for the Bastard Princess. So we've got 2 versions. Well, technically 3. So the PDF's free. Why is the PDF free? Mostly because I want to try and put it in as many people's hands as humanly possible. Because I intend it to always be free. I want just people to check it out. Like, I was kind of working. It's like, how do I get a book and put it into people's DM binders, essentially?
Yeah.
I don't, that's one of the things that kind of gets me, especially with like people that like RPG books. It's kind of funny because it's a very creative hobby, but they tend to not be very creative when it comes to marketing. Do you know what I mean? Like they tend to be very like, oh well, just put it up for sale and call it a day. It's like no.
Yeah, you were running it. I saw you were running ads and like tracking it. You take this shit very seriously.
I haven't run ads for. So the problem is with that book, because it's free, it would break the ads. So the way ads work is it's all done by tracking. Honestly, the more you get into Facebook ads, the more fucked it is. It's really bad. Like Facebook tracks so much information about people, it's actually terrifying. I mean, it's great if you're using it. Like, I'm not even joking. One of my friends, I'll send you the video. I got one of my friends. He's pretty active on Twitter, so he is. He started an online business March or let's say February 2023, and like he's making silly money. He spent 100,000 a month on Facebook ads, and it's just absolutely insane. I had him on for he did like an interview with us. So he did on Gumroad, but like he was pretty active on Twitter. If any of you guys are interested, I'll just put his Twitter handle on to the.
What was some of your inspiration for doing the Bastard Princess? Like,
I would say honestly, well, I suppose we're going to talk about it later. Lamentations. Let's be serious. I love Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Honestly, it's by far. I think that there could. And again, that's one of the things I get. Like, we're just saying about Wizards. How can they be pumping out so much fucking trash? How can Lamentations be pumping out so much good, but struggle so much to make a fucking seal? You know what I mean? How can someone be so good at their job, but also here? I don't know if I'm able to put it into the chat. I'll put it in the private chat. That's Jacob's Twitter anyway.
Yep.
So it is. But yeah, no. I would say mostly Lamentations and. A few other bits and I suppose how much can you really say? What do you do? Like, is there anything like again? Look, guys, if you guys are interested, it's completely free. I'll throw in the link here into the chat. Sure, if you want to go ahead and download it and follow along with us, sure. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me put it in.
Well, I have the link for the bastard princess in the description
Oh,
of the,
right,
of the
okay.
video. So if you guys, do
If
want to,
you want to follow along with us or whatever.
yeah, no, we don't have to go through. I just kind of wanted to just pick out, give people a feel, I guess. So this is a very dark adventure. I guess that's what I would term it as.
Yeah.
We were talking about the cannibal gangs in Haiti.
Yeah. Well,
They would fit right in here.
It is kind of edgy, not gonna lie, but like
Yeah.
I'm an edgy boy, so like it works for me. You know what I mean? Like that's more or less what I would go for. You know.
And this is something you think you could probably drop into just about any campaign, right?
Well, if you feel it, yeah, it's kind of well, you'll get a post-apocalyptic setting pretty soon. You know what I mean? If you feel it, you know.
What I noticed is there's a ton of like creatures in here.
Yeah.
Like you guys went all out on the.
To be fair though, it is if you're going to put it in, you kind of have to. That's something that I hate. Like especially like see if I'm buying something, I want it to be all set up for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want to have maps. I want to have the stats. I want to have all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I went for. Actually, that page there's probably got the worst AI art on it, but it's also one of my favorites. If you go back to Murdoch or whatever you call him, the torturer. So I think he looks really cool, but all the other guys are like wee midgets beside him.
Oh yeah, they sort of do. They sort of do.
Yeah, but I thought he looked really cool, and I'm like, oh man, and it didn't really work with the format. It's like I could.
It's just this guy right here.
Yeah.
Because everybody else looks like they're far enough in the background, but he's actually in front.
Yeah, he's just really up.
So if there was just some way, you could have like blurred him out. You'd have been like golden. But yeah, otherwise, like I mean, I was actually pretty surprised how consistent you got, like the art in the book.
That one there as well. If you go back to the Boggin. So the Boggin was originally supposed to be a Cyclops, but I couldn't get the AI art to work, so I just made up that creature. You'd be surprised how hard it is to actually get like one eye in the center. No, one eye.
One fucking eye.
Give me one eye.
Give me one fucking eye.
It just didn't work. I couldn't get it. It's like, all right, okay, we'll make something of them. No,
I was trying to get I did a video a couple weeks ago on Saturday about Daggerheart. I just kind of went through the rules as I saw, pointing out mostly the bad things. But I was trying to do a thumbnail, and I'm like, I said, show me a picture of Matt Mercer stabbing himself in the heart with a dagger. It would not do it.
No.
It would absolutely not do it. Yeah. So then I just settled for a show me fat Matt Mercer in a wheelchair, and it was perfect.
No, I normally just put in covered in jam or something. That kind of works.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little
or lead paint or something.
Yeah, tips of the trade.
Yeah,
some of these are really, really cool though. I mean, like that. Well, that's freaking.
The other one beside you, I had to Photoshop another hand out, so I did there. You can see one of the hands is kind of far away. If you look very closely.
Yeah, I see. Yep.
Yeah, I had to Photoshop that one out. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, I think it came out quite well. And I wanted to make all the monsters quite different and interesting to a certain extent. One of my players actually fucked that hag, by the way.
You're kidding.
I'm not even joking. Yeah,
that happened in my birthright too. One of my players, Captain Stern, he screwed a hag and got her pregnant.
Yeah.
She didn't trick him. She's like, you guys need my help. There's a price to pay.
Yeah,
so I'll pay it.
That's kind of what happened. So the hag, the table of stuff you can get from the hag. And one of them, I think, is magic. You can pick a skill of magic. And he's like, yeah, sure. It's like, yeah, I just need your soul. How are we going to get your soul? It's like, I need your dick. And he's like, oh, no.
No.
Yeah. So, that's not bad. Oh, by the way, also the two kids in that's Megan's niece and nephew. It was quite funny,
Arnie and Elsie.
Yeah. I said to them, it's like, oh, do you want to be in my book? And yeah. And then a few months later, I said to them, it's like, yeah, you might get fed to a hag. And they're like, oh no, Jane, no, I don't want to be in your book. And are you going to feed me to a hag? It's like, no, it's all right. Don't you worry, you'll be fine.
Yep, the old cliched, there is a price, barbarian. Chris, thank you. $2. Yeah, but this is like the layout is actually really good. I think in this too, man. Like I said,
Glenn's really good. So he is Glenn's done quite a few ones for Lamentations. So he has. you know,
Yeah.
and he does a lot of like old school essentials and whatnot, you know. So I think that, you know, he's worth it, honest. And you know, the thing is, his prices are really, really good. Like for the quality that you get, and I think I would consider him extremely cheap for the quality, you know, which
Right.
I'm surprised. Honestly, I suppose that's probably why he's so busy. But at the same time, I think he probably could do with putting his prices up, if I'll be honest with you, you know, especially compared to some other people out there.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah,
I may have to use him.
Yeah, no, his stuff is worth it, so it is.
All right.
But yeah, it's free, so it is. Oh yeah, on the topic of that, I completely forgot. So PDF free. There is a version for the people that are so against AI art, and you can pay 30 quid, so you can, and you'll get an AI art free version. And because I got a few quotes from a few artists, there's one guy I was talking to, I really love his stuff, and he quoted me, I think it was about 3,000 or about, well, it was $4,000. So like, you know, my website's in GDP, so you know, in and around that ballpark. And so if I got 100 copies sold, then it means I've got the money for the art, and we'll get an actual artist to do it. But like, you know, no one's bought one of them yet. So like, you know, like, you know, I don't want. The thing is, what does everything have to be a Kickstarter? You know what I mean? Like, can I not just like do a book? Like, you know, and I don't want to be sinking silly amounts of money. You know, I just want to be able to like, can I not just make something and put it out there and see what happens?
Yeah,
it's
kind of my
bigger deal, you know.
That's how I view it too, because yeah, I'm working on an adventure. It's going slow. I am using real art because Rogan is actually a really good artist. But you know, he kind of he goes at his own pace.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He's
busy.
He
goes at his own pace. Oh, he's busy now. He's busy. That's what they all fucking say. Jesus
well, he's got a full family. He's got his hands full at home. He's got a full-time job. But I mean, to me, it's worth it because it's not something I need. You know, so I'm like, I'll just peck away at it and, you know, kind of let him do it. And you know, look, when it comes out, it comes out. But exactly, I'm not gonna kickstart it. I'm gonna get the freaking thing done and then just put it up and be like, all right, here you go. I mean.
Although I would say I do think Kickstarter's great as like a marketer, you know, and there is something about them. I think if you do as a Kickstarter, you will make more money from it regardless. But I feel like Kickstarters can be, I would say they're kind of stressful. You know, I've done 2 so far, and like, you know, I've had them completely. I cannot imagine people that do Kickstarters and they just don't have the book ready for the printer. You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean the book's not ready for the printer? Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, you know, I just couldn't do that. That would.
I love when these campaigns just turn ugly because I had Sandy Peterson on, and you know, look, everybody knows Sandy Peterson. I mean, creator of Call of Cthulhu, but he has a couple of like a campaign or two that he admits he's like, COVID just destroyed us. You know, like the cash flow died. You know, so. You know, he's been trying to, you know, get the money to bring these projects over the finish line, but you read the comments, man, and they are so vitriolic. You'd think like, oh, he's an elder statesman in the industry, and they're like, fuck you every time he says, guys, I'm working, blah blah blah. They're like, fuck you, man, fuck you, go to hell. Like, I hope you rot.
There's one guy that I know. So there's a model artist that I work with, and they did some work with. Was it Dan the 3D printer or whatever? And he had a lot of issue. Like, he did a Kickstarter and it did really well. I think at least like 300,000 or whatever. It was a big set, 5e book and whatnot. And pretty much the guy fucked the post up. Like, you know, he just didn't know what he was doing, and he ended up like minus 100,000 on the post. You know, could you imagine being stuck? Like, fuck that. That's no way to be living. You know what I mean? Like, that's get yourself one of these bad boys. Always keep yourself right. You know what I mean? Be friends with the woman in the post office. You'll be all right. You know. Yeah.
So many people get screwed on the shipping. It's usually overseas shipping that just does people in. They don't charge enough.
Like, I'm used to it though, because I mostly, like, you know, I send stuff all the time with the models and whatnot. So, you know, it's not that different for me. You know, like. It's not that. And also, one thing that a lot of people don't really put into consideration is, see, whenever you're doing that, like, especially if you're like sending them yourself, just take out like the maddest credit card you can and then like just like use it all, but then top the money back up. You know what I mean? And just like it skyrockets your credit score like mad. You know,
Yeah.
like it's insane because like you're spending like a few thousand on it, so like works.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Something to check out. I think for a lot of people.
Well, you were talking about like Kickstarter's good advertisement. You probably get the same thing on drive-through though if you end up putting it there. Isn't it pretty much the same effect?
I think there's something about crowdfunders as well, where if you can get people excited for it, there is something.
Yeah, they like watching it go up. They like watching you hit your benchmarks.
There is something exciting about a Kickstarter though, and it is nice to run them. Like it is really exciting to run them. Especially whenever it does so much better than what you could have possibly imagined. I'm like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Jesus Christ! So
it would be stressful. Nice. I mean, I would be fucking stressed too. Running one of those. I'd rather.
Well, you don't want to show. If you fuck it up, you're pretty much done for. You know what I mean? Like
Unless your name's Zoe Quinn. Like if you're Zoe Quinn, you can just fuck it up and just go to Japan, suck a bunch of guys off.
I was watching that. You need to watch that as well. See the 4chan documentary on Netflix came out like last night, the night before. Oh my god, you need to see it. They bring up Gamergate in it, and like it's funny. Like you need to see it. Like that's all I can tell you. Like you wouldn't believe me.
I will definitely catch that this weekend. I'm gonna assume they don't have a very favorable opinion of 4chan at the end.
It's pretty much they it turns into like a big whole thing about Trump at the end, but I don't want to spoil it for you. It's kind of funny, I mean? Like it's now if you know what they're no, you go for it.
No, go ahead, finish up because I was probably going to take it in a different direction.
If you know what they're talking about and like you're watching it, I'm like, what the fuck is it? It's very much like normie propaganda. You know what I mean? Like it's if you don't pseudo intellectual types. If you ever came across that. Like if you
too many times,
like subjects that you don't really know anything about, and then you get someone that comes along and they're like, oh yeah, well this is this and this is that, and then you actually look into it yourself and you're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man.
And everybody's like one Wikipedia read away from being an expert on everything.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect is real.
It is. It is. That's why. And I've always had this belief that's why, like RPG advice videos generally nowadays just don't do anything because everybody thinks they fucking know everything, and it's like I know I'm not like the best DM in the world, but if you just looked at my bona fides, like I've been doing the same fucking campaign for 25 years, been playing like 30 years in a row. The next person that asks me, like, hey, how do you do this? Or they'll be the first one. Cause like everybody already thinks they fucking know everything. And it's like, that's fine. Yeah. But to your point, like you're not a fucking expert on everything.
The more I think, especially like the more I DM, the more I think I just don't bother doing any prep. And just show up and see what happens.
It is true. You get to
I'm at the point where I'm just going to show up and see what happens.
That proves that you have confidence, which is half the game anyway.
I suppose, that helps. Like, that's true. I think.
But you're also doing it the right way in that you don't. Obviously, you're not trying to railroad anything, and you're just being reactive.
To be fair, though, I will say, because I would say about half the time that I'm playing, because I don't get to play as much as what I'd like. Half the time I'm playing, it's mostly like test playing. So I pretty much just say to the guys, we're doing this tonight, and I don't care, because that's what we're fucking doing, guys. So, but at least I got a good excuse. It's like I'm test playing, come on. It's like, oh, we feel like going this way. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you're not.
No, that's just not going to happen, mate. I don't care. So like, I will say, like, but that doesn't happen all the time. Not all the time, so.
Well, like I had, I wasn't, the good thing is I don't over prepare anymore. I used to, when you're younger, you have a tendency to do that. Yeah. So it's almost like just in time DMing. Like they had gone up to this northern island to find this lost city. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do something different. At the entryway to this city, which was inhabited, by the way. I mean, I had a whole thing in my head like, okay, this is, these are a couple of factions in this city. Loosely based kind of on Red Nails, the old Robert E. Howard Conan's story. But I had in the entryway these 4 statues with these gigantic gems in their eyes. And I'm like, am I giving him too much? Because I do tend to be stingy as a DM. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm just going to put it there. They pried the gems out, and these things are, I mean, a fortune each, 8 of them. They heard like something behind a door, and then they're like, well, what do we do here? And they hemmed and hawed, and they said, all right, let's just leave. Literally, they walked down in the entryway. There was like 8 big gems, and they're like, nah, we've had enough. Yeah. My wife's character was just, beside herself, like, we're not even going to walk up those stairs there. And they're like, no, there's too much risk.
No, I'm not fuck with that shit. Honestly, well, for me, I would have thought it was a demi. That's not gonna lie. That's what it would have sounded like to me. I'm like, oh man, I'm not fucking up with that. I would have thought I got hit with a death ray or something. Gonna play them things out.
No, they did it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna play this straight up and see how it goes. See if see what they do. And they actually, you know what, they were very smart because. They that's unusual for players. Let's be serious. Like, they were literally saying, like, why do we need to go any further? We have all the treasure we want, and sort of came for us. So like,
on the topic of that, actually, I suppose, well, honestly, like the Bastard Princess is free. Go ahead, check it out. If you really like it, you can buy it as a physical. But there's one part in it where you go into like swampy forest of sorts. And on one of the random tables is like, don't follow the lights, essentially. And one of my players just straight up followed the lights. And like he was wearing like full plate and whatnot. And he just like, I'm not even joking, like 4 of the players near died. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Don't follow the lights! And I was like, what? I really didn't expect that.
Don't do it.
But they just seem to be like, oh yeah, let's follow these lights. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Well, it's like it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Don't look at the light, Mary.
Or like another good one, actually, because I suppose we're going to be going into that with James Raggi. One of the biggest ones I see people bitch and moan about with him is he puts in too many like instant kills. And like, okay, you can DM that out. That's not an issue. But there's one where, like, I think it's like a starter adventure where it's like a wizard's tower, and they complain about like the door handle knocker being like a viper or whatever, and like hits people with poison. And it's like, yeah, you do know the door handle is shaped like a big snake, by the way. It's got trap getting all over it, and it only happens if you actually knock it. The door's open. It's got all the like.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, if I see people complaining about that online, I'm like, oh, great. Well, at least I know what I'm dealing with.
Well, yeah, I think players would be rightly pissed if just like, oh, I didn't see something coming, and boom, you're dead. They're like, well, that's fucked up. But if you're telegraphing it, like, boy, you're getting a real bad feeling about this door knocker that's shaped like a poisonous serpent, and they just say, well, fuck that, I'm just gonna use it. Well,
if I remember, like the wizard's tower is set in like a field of like lightning, essentially, and like it's a stereotypical evil tower. You know what I mean, that you're going towards. So like if you haven't worked that out, snakes are a sign of friendship to Cosmic. Of course, Snake did. Of course, of course. But anyway, like onwards and upwards.
So you got the maybe we can do James Raggi in a moment, but I wanted to talk about Fatal 2. Are we allowed to show that?
Well, the person that looted Lilith. I thought it was so I got the email. I think it's a woman. I'm not sure, but I think
it's a woman's name.
Yeah, I know. But then a load of them came on. Apparently, a load of the players came on and we're talking in the chat. But on one of the credits, I think it might be her boyfriend. That's the name then. Or a husband or whatever. All I know is powered by a circumference system. Honestly, I expected. You know what? I felt like I was getting told at one point. So I did
too. I'm like, they literally have the goatsy thing like on the cover. I'm like,
no, but like going through it, like there's not that much men. Like the RPG men from the Red Room, I feel is more fatal than this. Like, not gonna lie, like there's some stuff in it that's like, okay, there's fatal, there's popping out, but like honestly, it's pretty playable for the most part. Like it seems like a dead on system. It's not really what I would personally go for, but like I
mean, I see things like I didn't know what to.
So if you go down to
think, like, if finally a fascist RPG, like what?
So go down to the very bottom. Go to the very, very bottom. Go to the end of it, and you'll find out, and you'll see. So
Yeah, I
if you
did
go to
see
thanks
this.
page, yeah, fuck you. So special thanks. This section is to thank those who have inspired, helped complete this work. Special thanks to Pondsmith, Barry Cole.
I'm sure Mike Pondsmith is real happy he's named in this.
Yeah, we got Brianna Wu. We got special thanks to the Islamic resistance movement for their efforts to liberate their homeland. You
Yep.
know,
and a final fuck you to Gary Gygax, J.K.
fuck
Rowling,
you.
and Byron Hall.
See, I thought that's who it was, Mark Cohen, but I think it must be the husband or whatever then.
Yeah. So
Mark Cohen name comes up a few times.
So I still don't know. Like, is this tongue in cheek? Is this this for real? I mean,
I think someone's tried to make their own system, and they've decided, you know what, I'm gonna throw in some fetal elements. Now, apparently, so Job got in contact with your man Barlin a few years back, he says, and he was trying to buy the rights to fetal because he wanted to do fetal too. Job actually has fetal imprint, by the way. He got a custom printed. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Oh, yeah, the racism chart. That's pretty good, man. Not gonna lie.
I know this is a favorite of yours, yeah.
Yeah,
so this is
good.
Shrink this a little bit. Yeah, you get the racism chart.
So what I was thinking, what would be a good idea for this? So see if you zoom in. So let's say they're green. You don't have to worry about it. You're always going to be friendly. But see if it's like maybe a 4 or 5. Maybe you can add like a dice roll to that. So maybe on a D10 or whatever, on a 1, the people become automatically hostile towards you. You could add something like that in maybe. I was thinking, I don't know, I thought it was kind of good. Like, honestly, more games need this type of stuff because, look, all I'm saying is, I'm from Northern Ireland. So, like, two groups of people, like, we got 2 different groups of people that still fucking despise each other. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you Americans and I'm like, yeah, can you not just get along? Like, can you not just get to the point where it's like, yeah. You're going to have to just make it work, guys. I don't know. It's messy,
That's a good point. We should really have you guys come in and mediate because you guys really do understand how.
The thing is, you are going in the same direction. You know what I mean? Like, there's. I would say, like, what I'm in Northern Ireland, I would argue it's not quite civil war, but it's like civil war light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the moderate civil war within reason, and I think that's where you guys probably are heading, or if not already there. It's hard to say yet.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the best thing, honestly, would be a separation. But as we know, that you can't do that. Plus, I don't know. Maybe people just kind of filter to the states that they want to be in. Like pretty soon, like California, like all the normal people are just going to leave like California. So it's just going to get bluer and bluer and bluer, as we say.
Or they just import them. Let's be serious.
Yeah. Which is fine. Look, send every one of these illegals in there. Just send them out to California. I mean, it doesn't matter how blue that fucking state is.
The funniest what everyone was, what was that? Was that island in New York that they sent them all to like a year or 2 ago? Was it?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yes.
That was comedy gold, man.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I love that one.
It was in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah,
up in Massachusetts. Yeah. That's where all the high society people live. Yeah, I thought that was
beautiful.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
Chris Miller, PC, a cripple with retard strength.
Well, so if you go to, I can't remember what it was, but like there's a lot of, they're not feats per se, but they may as well be like feats or like, it's a skill based game, so they do have, I think there's like one gleep stat, but like that's the only one that I saw. Like if you hit Control F, there's like I think they only mentioned gleep like 12 times. For fetal, that's pretty low, man, not gonna lie.
it's pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Only 12 times.
Yeah, like that's okay. Like for most RPGs I'd expect 0, but like fetal too, like for being such an iconic piece of
art,
gleep culture. I don't know. I don't know what to call it.
I didn't on my once through. I didn't. My complaints were mostly just like layout, and just sort of like where things are, because they'll reference like attributes or things like that they haven't discussed yet, and it's like, oh, okay, so if you're doing this professionally, you need to put this before this, to kind of have everything kind of flow into each other.
Yeah.
They have things, if you were to, get this, you'd be searching through like, what the hell is this? Where's my toughness? How do I do this?
Yeah, give me columns as well, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of two-step math, which I'm always a little, I don't know. Some people like it. Some people, like me, just...
All I can say is it's definitely not the game for me. It has some things that I think are pretty funny in it that I wouldn't mind stealing and using. Yeah. But, like, for the most part, like, it's definitely a functional game. I don't know if I would play it, though. I definitely wouldn't DM it.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I can really put on it.
It's just a little too much. I don't mind crunchy games and all the other bullshit aside. It just needs a better proofread and just needs like things organized a little bit better.
Yeah.
Obviously the layout is a little basic, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Amateur production, as far as I'm aware, anyway. So
I'm not sure anybody was ever asking for a sequel to Fatal.
Yeah, like who the fuck is this game for? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
He says, you know what? Like genuine. How many times? Like the amount of times people have talked about Fatal online. How many people have actually played it? Like, let's be serious.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it's almost unplayable.
It couldn't be more than maybe. I would say easily it's under like 200 sessions have ever been played in Fatal. Yeah. Like there's no way there's been more than 200 sessions like worldwide. I just couldn't imagine. I don't know who it's for. Like straight up, it's like I can't jack into this, guys. I don't know. Like it's just not going to work for me.
All right, do you want to watch some of James's?
Oh yeah, sure.
Marketing, because you're a big market. You like follow marketing and that. And you do like I think we both like James Raggi.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
So what's happened to him now? Like, because he's always on fucking. He's like, honestly, the guy's a walking disaster, man. Like he really is.
A little bit.
Like I really like him, but he's a fucking shit show of a human being. Like, and you know the thing is, he would agree with me on that. He would be like, yeah, right.
Probably.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that pause there. It's almost perfect. All right, so this just happened. Maybe it's like a half hour long, so we'll.
All right, okay.
We'll watch a little bit of it. See.
I sent him a thing. Actually, I did send him a document about 2 months ago. I think I showed it to you actually as well.
You did. Yeah. You did. Yeah, you were like trying to help him.
Yeah, like I think there was. And it wasn't like anything like too crunchy, and I don't think there was anything in it that was like really out there for him. Like, I think it was all stuff that could be within his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? If you like, you know what I mean? Like, I know he has a hard time like using and like he's old and he knows like he likes to do things a certain way, and I get that, but the world's evolving, man. You know what I mean? Like that's all I can say about it. Like the world is evolving, and you need to be able to learn how to adapt to that.
Some people like him, he's got he does seem to have a romantic heart, the artist's heart, and it's hard to get those people to change.
Yeah.
He's had a little taste of success being this way, and sometimes they're just stubborn.
Like he's got a solid fan base. I'll give him that. Like and that definitely helps.
For sure.
It's just I'm sure that there's a much bigger audience. Like what he does is so niche that you have to be realistic that because it is a very niche interest, it's a niche within a niche within a niche. There can't be that many people interested in it, and I think only like at best a third of the people that would be interested in his books even know that he exists. That's where I would put it. I think he could reach so many more people, but let's see what he has to say.
All right, here we go. James Raggi. This is a live stream he did just to. Oh, hold on. Someone snuck something in here right before. ANN. I got 2 moderators in here for the first time in a long time. When you transition to a publisher, we can use your Facebook ad expertise.
So I haven't ran any ads for anything tabletop RPG related. I do run a PDF website. I can, I'll send you a screenshot here if you want. You can throw it up on screen. So I've been playing about with ads now. It's my friend who, like, me and him used to do this website together, and I took over because he pretty much is making too much money on his actual website, and he's the guy still works full time, and he's making like fucking silly money a month, and he's still like, I don't get it. I don't. To be fair, no, he does have like a genuine career though. You know what I mean? Like I know he got into his position very, very young. I would say, like, put it like this: if he lived in America, he would be making from his actual job easily like 250,000 a year. But like, because where we are, it's way less. But it's a very, very niche thing that he does for his day job. I'll show you. So this is the website. I'll just screenshot some of the analytics so you can see where the ads have been turned off. And for the most part, we've only been doing 50 quid a day sort of thing. And that's kind of what we go for. The minimum is kind of 50 quid. If you think of it like a beast, you need to feed the beast. And if you feed it too much, then it confuses the beast and it doesn't know where to spend your money. If you feed it too little, it's just not enough to gather data from. Here, I'll send you this and you can get an idea. Yep. So that there is from like 50 quid a day. And honestly, it's really interesting. The problem is, I think the problem with Facebook ads is there's very few places to go online to be able to talk to people about it, because there's so many fucking charlatans, for lack of a better word, and there's so many like greasy guys. First of all, the biggest one I would say is, if you're dealing with, why would anyone teach you how to do this? Because it's literally a money printer. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting a money printer for free, Yes. And so why would anyone show you how to do it? That's the thing. Like, why would anyone transition to become a teacher for this whenever you could hoard that knowledge to yourself? So actually learning how to do this is almost impossible, for a lot of people. Like my friend Jacob, he is transitioning. He is doing some teaching, but he's only doing people that are making he's doing people that are stuck at like the 10,000 a month mark. Like, their companies could be doing so much better. They could be breaking like 100,000 a month, but for whatever reason, they just can't seem to take it to that next level. So he's working with people that already know what they're kind of doing within reason, and he's just kind of helping them with that. Which, again, like, the guy works a full-time job and he's getting paid £500 an hour to teach people this sort of stuff. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you still working like 10 hours a day? Like, and he, the worst thing is, he even says to me, it's like, I was working the weekend again. It's like, are you wise? Have you actually got something wrong with you? But yeah, I took over doing this website. We turned the ads off just before Christmas, so we did, because there's no sales like the last couple of days going up to Christmas. And then I was garring at him. It's like, come on, will we get this back up and going? We'll do this again. And he's like, honestly, mate, I have no time for it. So I kind of just took over doing it. You can kind of see there. Only the last like couple weeks, you know what I mean? Right. But it's getting there anyway. So yeah.
1 second here. Get Chris.
So anyway,
Chris was making 200 a day in Facebook ads before he got banned. Holy shit.
Yeah, honestly, Facebook gathers so much information about people. Like, put it like this: when you get on Facebook, how many ads do you see? People would not be spending money on this sort of stuff if the money wasn't in it. They just wouldn't.
All the people that bitch about Musk and how bad he is, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? You look at Mark Zuckerberg. The guy wants to know everything about everybody. And you're worried about fucking Elon Musk. Who everybody, he's autistic. He's a little retarded. So what?
The information that
thank you, Chris.
Elon has is now. Oh, not Elon. Sorry. Put it like this: there's no better. Like, even Google isn't as good as Facebook. Like, it's insane. Like, Google is nowhere near as good when it comes to like. It's different. It works very differently. But anyway.
I mean, we already know. Like, in our case, like, government agencies are a little bit in bed with some of these places, and it's like, if you were like the FBI, why wouldn't you go to Facebook and be like, hey, can you help us out here? We're trying to do a profile on someone who we think is committing a crime. Maybe we can. I'm telling you, it's pretty fucking frightening.
I mean, like, I'm sure he would be okay with that if you give them some money. I'm sure, like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, alphabet agencies, bottomless barrels of money seem to be like pretty hand in hand. So
Let's
just
face it,
they pay for it.
They ain't getting the best and the brightest,
Yeah.
especially these days. And look,
Yeah.
everybody's like suffering as far as like finding good help.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the government is keeping good people. So it's kind of, like I said, pretty terrifying. All right, let's go to let's watch James see what he has to say a little bit here. All right, here we go. He always starts like that way.
Again.
A couple months ago, maybe a little more at this point, I released the new channel trailer, Introduction to Lamentations of the Flame Princess. And, the one where I'm trying to run naked through the snow and my knee's still screwed up from that.
That's got to be like the 7th time he's done that now.
It's getting a little old.
Yeah, not gonna lie, man. You James got you naked. I've seen that a few times now, man. You're gonna have to remind me which video was that. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's not a promo, James James Raggi. When you're running naked, that is a distinct turn off.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've
gotten a few questions like, why do you do things like this? Don't you want to be taken seriously? Paraphrased, of course. And the short version is, for those that get it, no explanation is necessary. For those that don't get it,
none is possible.
no explanation will do.
Yeah.
But I don't do short versions here, so let's unpack. For the record, I looked this up. I first started doing the naked gimmick on December 31st, 2008. It was on the Lamentations of the Flame Princess blog, post titled Tools of the Trade. So over 50...
Ew.
I mean, like,
Tools of the trade.
that's what look, you know what? I get it. The only thing is that what I would say is with him going through naked, it's probably going to get the video flagged, and therefore it's not like if it's a trailer, you want as many people to possibly see that as you can. And I know people are sick and tired of hearing like people on YouTube be like, got demonetized again. It's like, yeah, but demonetization means a lot more than just you don't make ad revenue off it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't mean they necessarily hate you. They may hate you, but they'll still treat you fairly as long as you're not running naked through it, because they don't want little kids clicking on naked 50-year-old guys.
The thing is, it's like another thing is like, how many people do you think are gonna like Lamentations is such an obscure publisher, how many people are gonna find it? It's gonna be difficult.
It's a boutique.
Yeah.
It's certainly a boutique publisher.
15 years of doing this, starting before LOTFP was even a business. And 15 years of people going, oh no, you're not acting serious business.
I mean, you don't have to be serious business. Like, it's all about what works for you. I'm not serious at all, and, like if it works for him, it works and doesn't work. It's a style. But
But it's also, if he's done it this many times, like maybe it's just getting old,
Yeah, I mean, like
change it up a little.
I think he should get like a gimp suit or something at this point. Oh please, I don't actually. You know what? I don't want to see that.
James Raggi in a gimp suit. All right.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Actually, come to think, one of their best ones they did was they show us your tits promo. That was actually a really funny one.
I don't think I saw that one.
So it was Terror in the Streets. It was called. The book, I think it was like a French murder mystery book, so it was. But you got a promo for it called "Show Us Your Tits," and it was getting people to like take pictures of the book in like weird places and whatnot. And actually, it was pretty funny. I thought it was done very well. I was happy.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, James. I'm happy whenever you come up with something.
Yeah, look, of all people, I love a good gimmick, but you do have to make sure you're not getting stale, and then he'll do something like that, and then he comes on, and like all these videos are starting to look kind of like the same with him. He'll be standing outside. Okay, time for an update. Here's what's wrong in my life.
Yeah.
Some situations.
The guy's a disaster, man.
Yeah, a little bit. We love him. He's
like him.
such a genuine talent.
Yeah, he is. Like, you know, he is talented, but fuck me, man, he needs help.
Yeah, he does.
He needs help. Like, you know, he needs, like, man, you need to get someone else to do this bit for you. You know, I think, like, again, it's such a stereotype. You know, people that tend to be like super creative tend to be like absolute dog shit at the business side of things. You know, so
yeah, it's
he's
hard
not
to
the
find
first.
someone, who's got a little bit of gumption
Yeah.
on both sides of the equation.
I should be more serious business, but not in this case. Or any case when I'm public facing. The serious business should be when I'm actually working, when nobody sees. But for facing the public, I don't really care what the man on the street thinks.
But see, he is a one-man band, so
Yeah.
he does have to sort of care about this. If you were creative and then you hired someone to be the business part,
I think
of
he
your-
had. I think he did have like a customer service person at one stage, but
he can't
Yeah,
afford that. He couldn't afford
yeah,
that.
no.
For what that game probably brings in, God,
Yeah.
he'd be breaking even probably.
you know, the biggest one with me is with him. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the quality of his books. His books are, honestly, they're expensive, but I would consider them very cheap for the quality of what you're getting. He needs to work out, like, he just can't, like, we were talking about Kickstarters earlier. I know he had a disaster of a Kickstarter very early on, and I put him off it altogether. But like, see, when he talks about it, he's like, yeah, I took out a few loans to like order in all these books. I'm like, mate, that actually gives me AIDS. Like, see the thought of that actually fucking what? You do what? I go, oh fuck, man. I don't know how he does that.
Yeah, these guys usually like in their finances are just horrible,
Yeah.
and personal lives aren't usually followed. But
Yeah.
that's the bargain you make. You get
Yeah.
you get a little touch spark of brilliance on one side. Whereas people are more balanced. Like, look, you may not reach the heights that he reaches, but you're
Yeah.
also not going to have a full-time therapist either.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't look for a tight ass who's very concerned with their dignity and public image to deliver my fucking fun time goods. In
I
fact,
agree with him on
I'd
that, like, honestly. I
Yeah.
do agree with him. I think he's he's spot on there. He's, for lack of a better word, it's his bland. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hate the term bland, but like it is. I don't like the word, but it fits the best.
It's good if it's a brand that's working, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's debatable whether it's working or not. So you can be defiant and say, "Well, this is how I've always done it, and this is how I'm going to do it." And it's like, well, okay, but you're struggling
Yeah.
business wise. So do you need to maybe tweak things a little
Yeah.
bit?
consider someone like that to have nothing to say to me about anything that I enjoy. Because
But do you enjoy making money?
Mm.
Because
But you
that's
have to, if you want to continue doing what you're doing, you're going to have to make money. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, whether we like it or not, like, honestly, I honestly, I think James should have stayed to just writing books instead of being a publisher. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I love all the books that he's been able to put together, and he's done a lot of great things. But like, I don't know if the publisher lifestyle is cut. You know what I mean?
I think he'd have been
perfect
happier.
writer, perfect writer. I think he would have been. Yeah, he would have definitely been happier as a writer and just sticking to writing books.
well, I won't do the Zoom. I'll just get in here. Get in here close. I have a secret for you. Yeah. All the people who make games were clowns. That's all we are. Like birthday clowns, they show up at your house and they entertain the children. And us game designers, writers, publishers, we do the same damn thing. We come into
to a
your
certain
home.
extent. I would agree with him to a certain extent. Like,
Yeah.
post sad sad gesture at PC gif. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. Like, I would class myself more down as like an entertainer, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Than I like doing the lighting, but like it's definitely not the main thing that I do.
Well, if I may compliment you, like I think you understand the game. You got to be part P.T. Barnum to get eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
And then look, if people like you, they're naturally going to be interested
Yeah.
in something you may have to sell. Like, oh, well, I like this guy creatively. He keeps me entertained. let's see, if he's got the chops, to do something.
Which is
otherwise.
free, by the way, guys. Free. Why have you not downloaded it yet?
Yes.
For the Google Play Store. Fuck
By-
all. Just have play. Just have play. I'm in
Proxy with our books and entertain you. But because we do it through writing and books, we get to pretend like we're sophisticated and intellectual.
Agreed.
And the reality is, the books we produce and the balloon animals that a clown makes serve the same function for the same reason. But in order to seem important, to make you think their products are of a higher class than balloon animals, most game publishers aim to distort your perception of the work through marketing.
No, what
And
you do is, I'll tell you how you do it. What you do is you go in and you just say, his book shit, his book shit, his book shit too. My stuff's so much better. This guy's a fucking dickhead, by the way. And you just shout at people on Twitter all day. That's how you get ahead in life, guys. Trust me. I wish I spent more time arguing with people on Twitter.
Don't we all?
Garbu's wild for that. He says to me, "It's like, James, why do I end up why do I get all the hate? It's like, so you engage with these people, whenever I see people slacking us off online, I just look it up like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. No, and I just move on with my day. But there's Garbu, he cracks his fingers and all. It's like, this is where the fun begins,
Yeah, he was made for that stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Hold on 1 second here. Ooh, Jeff Hatch. $5. Here's a little something to help Double D get this guy and J. Scott Garibay together. Well, one can only hope.
I can't believe that guy's real though. I've seen you guys do videos on him from time to time, but he's never came up for me. And there was one time I was on Twitter and he came up on my feed. I'm like, this guy can't be real. This guy is such he's such a parody. I couldn't have made something up. You know what I mean? There's no way this guy's actually a real human being. No one actually gets on like that.
I had his DM, is sometimes in my chat, Webhead Mike, and he's like, yeah, I used to DM Scott Garibay in real life. I lived, close to him. He just said he's an interesting guy, but also, and you can pick this up in his videos, he's a very angry guy.
Yeah.
He has a lot of anger issues.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Well, you get that, especially a lot of people that try to... the guys on YouTube that give me the most heebie-jeebies are the ones that get put on, the really... the little, Bob Ross type of persona. Those guys give me fucking... It's like me, please don't get on like that. You're really... you're wearing a skin mask. Please stop that.
You can almost set your watch to it because you're a little young for this. But even when I was growing up, even though they were sort of out of style by then, but hippies, always the angriest people you've ever met. Just behind closed doors, the kind that beat their spouses, just rage all the time. And then it's they go out in public and it's, hey bro, good vibes, man. Good vibes.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not buying it. I'm the same way. If somebody's a little too syrupy, I'm always okay. That's also why I will never ever eat something that people bring in at work.
Why?
It's usually the kindly old, oh, that's Helen in accounts payable. She's got her famous brownies, and I'll be I don't know what Helen's putting in these brownies. She may be nice here, but she may just be seething every day she comes home. I fucking hate everybody I work with. Here's some of my piss.
Oh, God. Yeah, I couldn't imagine it. Look, all I'm saying is, so I used to work in a kitchen, and I got sent to HR a few times. Do you know how hard it is to get sent to HR when you work in a kitchen? That takes skill, man. That's all I gotta say. That's hard,
The dishwasher's getting a talking to.
Well, you know what? I'll give you the funniest one I ever got hit with was I got sent to HR over. It wasn't a dance routine per se, but it was it was a quiet day, so it was, and I started trying to put together. The chefs thought this was funny as fuck, by the way, guys. So I don't even care. We tried to put together a musical. And I was basing on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So it was and because we had a pass, it was an open kitchen. So it's what do you see? You people gazing at me. and then it's like me old mop stick, you know, me old
Yep.
yeah. They apparently customers complained that I was dancing in the kitchen. I wasn't dancing that much. Like, all right, okay, fine.
At Pizza Hut, I used to drink, when I was getting towards the end and, I was finished up with college and looking for a real job. I would just pour myself a beer just right off the tap. Just, I was waiting tables by that point. I didn't care. I'm just like, done with it. Yeah, they will test you, customers.
Yeah.
All right.
Pose, there are 4 basic ways that the majority of game publishers and designers want the public to see them. The purpose of them all is simply to make you forget that all of the author's noses honk when you squeeze them. The first type, and these are in no meaningful order, is the designer. These are the features of this system. This is how the rules create the game. Like the system is the game. Like the system is some sort of ink and paper AI that creates the experience of a role-playing game. Like they're trying to tell you something. Like, using our system, you will have 10.2% more quantifiable fun. Or,
well,
our
guys,
system...
all I'm saying is if you download my PDF, prostitutes will come to your house and literally suck your dick, by the way, guys. Like, if you download, and it's completely free, by the way. I won't, like, they're probably not the nicest of prostitutes. Like, you've got, like, they're not nice looking ones, but, like, a bluey's a bluey, guys. That's all I gotta say,
Absolutely. The thing is, if he hadn't sort of been canceled, I think James would be good at doing this almost like as his primary thing.
Yeah.
Because he's got sort of a way. He's kind of charming, when he does this kind of stuff. But he'll never make a living at it because he's already he has baggage, I guess, attached to him.
Even then, like, I don't get the whole deal with, like, it's cancellation. It doesn't really make sense to me, if I be honest with you. Like, pretty much... What, like, he worked too much with fucking Zach, like Zach's a dickhead, but, like, I mean, like, he did some good books, you know what I mean? Like, I know people are gonna gurn, but, like, I really like Frostbitten and Mutilated, and, like, he's done a good few books that are actually, like, genuinely worth checking out. Like, you know what it is? It's kind of like, I don't get why RPGs are like this, because it's kind of like music, Like, there's so many artists that are, let's be serious, fucking dickheads in real life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we don't seem to have any problem with that. But when it comes to RPG books, suddenly we all have to know everything about this human being. It's like, oh, I'm not going to buy from it. Like, look, I like Lamstein. Lamstein are hyper liberal to the point of insufferable, But, like, is that going to make me stop listening to them? It's like, no,
Well, yeah, I don't know if you saw, but Ryan David did an interview with Daniel D. Fox.
Oh, that's a different matter now. I will say, like, yeah, that guy. Yeah, like, I'm not. I won't throw stones. Oh, that's all I can say. I'm not gonna get into that. But, like,
and he definitely is a dick. But you listen to the interview. I mean, he does come across like, okay, I even though he's a dick, I do understand some of his things. Now, look, he did lodge a privacy complaint against my channel, which. If I was fucking pissed about just for putting up his tweet. He lodged a privacy complaint on my video on him. So, he's no fan of mine.
I feel like if I spoke public about him, it would be done for hate speech. So let's just move on.
Yeah. The thing is, after all that, I don't hate him. I would just want him to apologize for that because that was a dick move. And then look, if he's a hyper liberal, like you said, like Ramstein, whatever, that's fine. I mean, I was never big into like the trove thing, so that didn't affect me the way it probably affected a lot of people. But I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little bit more of him. If he starts rambling too much, we'll pull the plug.
System solves the problem of gaming
more
being 20 minutes.
Let's be serious.
Condensed into 4 hours.
Yep.
Like you're buying a set of industrial machinery instead of imagination fuel. The second type is the responsible citizen. The kind that thinks the purpose of stories is to establish and uphold desired social norms, and the purpose of social gatherings is to strengthen the bonds between individuals, so our product is designed specifically with these things in mind. Like someone looked at some pseudo-academic articles explaining stories and games and decided that not intentionally being in accordance with all of that would be like anti-science or something, socially destructive, resulting in a belief of something akin, not exactly, but akin to socialist realism for creative works. And their games of make-believe are intended to be tools for the social good, rather than personal amusements or, you know, imagination fuel. The third is the insipid fuck that I call the hugger. These are the people that pretend that their work has bite. They peddle fake darkness, counterfeit horror, sham conflict.
Yeah, I'll
And
give
then
him
they
that. Like,
char-
well, let's be serious. He's talking about work. Let's be straight up. Like, like there's not even a fucking hint there. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and you know what? He's complete. I got into an argument with what do you call him, Jonar? What do you call the artist from Workboard?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
Well, it was on Facebook, so like he didn't know it was me or anything.
Mhm.
But this was I think Question Beast did a video, and he was saying about like, there's like most people don't actually care about the OGL because they're doing their own wee thing, and it was on the Morkborg Facebook group, and they were saying like, oh well, Morkborg's kind of like that because that's like, they kind of just do their own wee thing. And I said, well, yeah, I think like Morkborg you can definitely say, but like Cyborg definitely not by any means. Like, and they're like, oh, well, it's like, well, they kind of put in rules like about the whole like, oh, you can't play as a corp. Can you believe that the corporations in a cyberpunk setting are the bad guys? Like, I don't know if you know that, like, but the
Shocking.
The corporations, man. It's like,
Damn.
oh my god, how fucking
That is so profound.
like, it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's it's like, no, you cannot play as corp. They're not your friends. Like, yeah, I didn't expect them to be friends, mate. But like,
We're
honestly,
gonna be a good corporation. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna be the first good corporation in any cyberpunk setting.
Yeah, it's like Jesus fucking Christ. And I said, it's like, yeah, definitely not. And I can't remember what he was saying about that, but I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, man.
Yeah.
But it was on my actual Facebook, so I don't think I had any idea who I was.
Yeah. All right, we'll just go to the end. His fourth one here. I think this
All
is
right,
the
go for
third.
it.
He's talking about Morkborg here.
I'll
Yeah.
prove it all. Face the horrors of the night. Experience the darkness in the human soul. But don't worry, we've got all the safety tools to make sure you won't have to really think about the horrors your characters are facing. We'll take care of you. See how easy we've made it to be brave. And for that,
Bang on.
you deserve a hug. To these people, their job is to make you feel good instead of providing, imagination fuel. Then there are the servitors, because I'm really good at making up these names. The servitors. These are the people that act like their job is to give the public exactly what they want. This game will help you have fun with your friends in the exact way that is popular today. Go on quests. Be cool. Have a power fantasy.
That's 5th edition, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he put out it. There's this guy I came across. I didn't come across him. He tagged me. He's called Jumpsuit John, and he only started making YouTube videos. And I only watched the first one. I haven't watched his other ones yet. And his first video was actually really interesting. So it was worth a watch. I don't really want to get too much into it, but kind of about the whole idea of like, power fantasies and all that, and how it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, the world's changed, But again, like I only got in, like I was always into war games. I only got into like role playing games in like 2015. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, see, whenever I first started hearing about OSR, I'm like, yeah, I got no nostalgia for that type of shit, so I don't really care. I didn't play it, so like, I don't really have not much interest in it. And like, even now, like, let's be serious, the whole like term OSR is so fucking cancerous that it's like, yeah, I got nothing to do with that shit, man. I don't know. I don't even know what the word means anymore. It's just one of those buzzwords at this point. I think it's more of a mindset. Would that be fair to say? I like that.
It is. I think so. Yeah, it is a mindset. It is, like you said, it is kind of a retard magnet in some regards. It does attract people like Jeffro and just everyday morons. By the way, guys, I put I believe I put the in the did I? Let me. I put the link for Bastard Princess in the chat. So yes. So there's the zero cost PDF. You have nothing to lose.
For the Google price of nothing at all.
Zero. Actually, I was very impressed. Actually, I mean, I got the physical copy, and it's very cool to have in your hands. But it's just, I think it's something you can work in. It's if you want to take your your game to a darker place for at least just temporarily. It's something that your group can stumble upon and then just kind of maybe work their way out of, and then.
I think it's relatively easy to drag and drop into most people should be, or even if you don't, you can put in the forest could easily be dragged in, the town could easily be dragged in, it's got 3 different locations that are very distinct from each other, and again for the Lulu price of nothing, you can copy it. Here, go onto the magic items table, go to that one, go to the curse items table.
See, this guy understands marketing. How many times has he said the low cost of nothing?
Yeah,
you have nothing to lose, literally.
Come on, guys. I just need to harvest your data from putting in your email address and your.
It's going to sell it to Mark Zuckerberg and make millions. So, you might as well just give it. Look, would you rather have some faceless FBI agent do it, or would you rather have James Beardia do it?
Yeah, exactly. So come on, guys. But here, throw it up there. There's some funny ones in there. I think you guys might like them.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't know. I know you're watching the little one. Maybe we should let these people go and enjoy their. Well, in my case, the Saturday afternoons. You're already going into evening, are you not? Over there?
It's 6 o'clock, so that's
6 o'clock. Yeah. But yeah, we got to do this more often. I know we've talked a lot behind the scenes. Like I said, we're doing a project. And you were kind enough to include me in, and but we've never had a chance to really talk like this, and I thought it was really fun.
Well, the problem is, it's most people are American, and it's silly o'clock at time. It's I started my live streams at 10 at night. It's so 4 in the morning. Yeah, the worst thing is, I said to Megan, I said to her, it's right, that's the book out. I'm gonna have to go on a bit of a shilling campaign here, by the way. And she just kind of looked at me with sad eyes because we've moved rooms, we have, so the bed's fucking there, and she still works, she works full time, so it's James, you fuck off, you're going downstairs, man. That's just not on. But the other thing as well, I don't really the other problem that I've got is going on and you don't have control over the editing. I don't even really like going live on my own channel because it's just sketchy. You know what I mean? You never know what you're going to end up saying. I have no idea people can be entertaining with a script at this point. You just kind of do it, and that's the way I do it anyway. I can see the idea of I'm going to read this and that's going to do the job.
Yeah, when I do canned videos, just because I don't want to do a shitload of editing, I got to edit out this this. So I will script it. If it's a video like that, or at least I'll do bullet points if I can speak, pretty good on it.
I think the biggest one for me would be I think that's why I don't end up on video an awful lot of the time, because I just can't be fucked editing video on top of audio. You know what I mean? And audio is just so much quicker to bang through. And let's be serious, do you really want to look at me? You know what I mean? I'm talking about stuff that's on the screen. So it makes life easier for me.
See, you look fine. When you get to be my age, you need to put sunglasses on, a hat, to make yourself palatable.
I got a good comment. I've actually got a few. Anytime I go on camera, it's oh my god, James, you're not hideously deformed or anything. I'm oh, thanks, man. There was another good one I got. It's James isn't just not hideously deformed, he's actually okay looking. I'm what? It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
Yes,
I thought you were supposed to be.
You're a chud.
Yeah, well, there's a good one I got a while back. I got one a while back. What was it? So yeah, it was. There was a guy, this is ages ago, this is back when I was on text speech. That's kind of why I use the name Neckbeardia anyway, because to the normies, I'm a neckbeard, but to the actual neckbeards, I'm a fucking normie, and I just don't fit in anywhere. So there was this one guy that was what do you like? It's do you have IRL friends? I'm yeah. It's do you have a job? It's at the time, yeah, I was working, and I was yeah. It's do you have you've got a girlfriend? Yeah. It's like, you're a fucking normie, man. What are you doing? You're a fucking poser. What are you doing? I'm like, all right, okay.
See, we always have to watch that, you know, because like me and my friend Crazy Mouse, you know, we're actually kind of like sports fans. I grew up, you know, watching
don't be
American
alarming.
football and stuff. So it's like, if we go too far into that, like the chat will be like, enough.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
who do you think
now.
your audience is? I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird because I've always kind of walked that line too. Like,
What-
yeah, I like these dumb games, but look, I'm not a complete social retard. You know, I can handle myself in social situations. So
To a certain extent, I think I've got a very abrasive personality, to say the least. Either people like me or they fucking despise me, and there's nothing in between. You know, there's nothing in between. Like people either like, oh me, not him. Please God, not him.
you're inviting
You know?
James.
Oh God, you know, I don't know what it is. It's like, am I that bad? Like, you know, I don't think I'm that bad. I'm a bit abrasive, like, you know, and I think people take me the long way, but that's probably it. That's probably the worst thing that happens.
Well, you come across this is your medium then, because you come across like on YouTube, you know, as very charming and funny and witty. So
I thank you. I thank you.
you're just one of those guys who's like a monster behind the scenes. Right? Like,
Yeah, I
like
just
Jimmy
kicked the
Fallon.
I just kicked the fuck out of my wife, and like, you know, yeah. Well, there was a good one. There was a good one I saw a while back, and it was like one of those political compass charts. It was like a D&D one, and people like my group was taking the piss out of me because there was one of them where it was like, I think I'll need to link it to you. I can't remember exactly, but he's like, yeah, bit of a trash player, fun to play with. Play beats his wife. It's like, that's you.
Probably beats his wife.
Yeah, he probably does. You know, that's what that always gets me though, like, because Garblue, like, you know, I only really do like stuff with Garblue now and Neckbeardia, and like he always says, like, people were like, so I got always hit with like the sister wife meme, and like Garblue's a country bumpkin, so what's that about? I thought he was supposed to be the inbred neck. You know, how did I get the sister wife meme? It's beyond me. The pixelated hugs and hot sauce for the taco.
Howard Hughes, $20. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Howard. Good to see you here on Saturday for pixelated hugs and hot sauce for the taco.
Lovely.
Oh yeah, a
Lovely.
little bit of Scott Garibay hot sauce there.
Oh God.
Thanks again, HH.
Yeah, that guy can't be real. But yeah.
Ryan David's gonna try to get him. I guess it's probably smart, like Nerd Cognito. I think they're gonna try to be like. They're going to try to talk to people that maybe normally aren't talked to. It's a really, actually, I think, a pretty good decision for a channel. It's like trying to like have these kind of like Jerry Springer sort of situations. They're going to try to get Scott Garibay on, I think.
Well, I think we're past the point of like negotiations, but I always do think of that Khrushchev line. Apparently said to Candy, it's like, what we're doing, it's more brinksmanship, I would argue, but he said that we're pulling on a loop with a tight knot, and eventually we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to cut that knot, and there's no going back, you know. And I think we're kind of at that point because I mean, people are just dickheads, you know what I mean? And like, it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like I've came to the point where it's like people just don't act in good faith, you know. And I feel like there's no point for me. I'm not going to waste my time to kind of argue with these people because like they think a different way, I think a certain way. That's fine, you know, and I'm okay with them thinking a certain way. But I'm not going to spend the evenings trying to debate me, bro. You know, it's not like that's like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? More than 10 years ago now. The whole debate me argument, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like you're not changing anybody's mind. I still think there's value in making them look, you know, as stupid as, you know, they usually are. But yeah, even that has its limits. At some point, look, I think we just want to get back to a time when people didn't really know what other people thought. Like, they may have hated you all along, and that's fine. But you know, just don't call me an asshole where I can see it. You know, I mean,
that's what you're gonna get. You know, like it's, you know, you do anything online, you're gonna attract mentals. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're gonna get that. But I suppose that's just the way it is. You know, that's the world we're in, and like, you know, there's no change in the. I don't see any way for like. There's no way we can change the trajectory of what's going on at the minute. And people live in different realities. You know, you got people that, like, for instance, like, you know, even on the Bastard Princess. So I put it up on Drive-Thru. I never told anyone I put it up on Drive-Thru because I'm not a big fan of Drive-Thru at all. But there was a guy commented on it saying, like, oh, this is QAnon conspiracy theory things. Because there's like an Epstein reference in the book somewhere, you know. So I was like, is QAnon really? Is that QAnon? I didn't think that was, but like, okay, if you say so.
I thought we had flight logs and people were being arrested and stuff.
No,
like that.
don't be silly. No. What are you talking about? Drink the blood of children? No. Don't talk about such things. That's what I love though, because as I say, I've kind of like, I would say I'm semi-retired from YouTube at this point. And
you do mostly Gumroad, right?
Yeah, and it's all behind the paywall. And like, honestly, it's the best thing I ever did because, first of all, you're not constricted by like the bullshit of YouTube. Like, for instance, I need to make a video this length, otherwise it's going to be gimped. I have to hit certain notes at certain time. You know what I mean? Like, whereas Gumroad, I can go ahead and do like a 4-hour-long video and not need a care because like you can put in everything that you want to put in, and you can make topics on anything you want. Like, I don't even know if I can talk about any of the subjects.
Let's be careful. We want people to see the Bastard Princess.
Well, like you can like put it. You can do anything. You know what I mean? And that's what
I think we all know.
And because like people are paying for it, like it's.
Well, you could do something like Grim Jim, and his, with the thing that he got kind of all that in trouble for about, things that are rightfully fair game for a RPG, discussion, including grape and stuff like that. Which I never quite understood that, but yeah.
I don't know. Like, Grim just seems to fucking. I don't know. Grim lets it get to him something shocking. Like, I'm a big fan of Grim. I really like him. I think he's really nice.
I think he's a nice guy. He's just there's like 2 or 3 things where he's just completely retarded.
Sometimes like he's the only person that I have on Twitter where sometimes I'm going down and I just look at it and I just feel like, yeah, I'm never going to look at this app ever fucking again. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking bad, man. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bad take. Like, as much as I like you're going, Jesus Christ, that's fucking next level, man. Like, but for the most part, like when it comes to RPG stuff, he's pretty spot on. Like, he knows what he's talking about. I like him.
If you stick to RPGs and like free speech. He's golden. He's a nice guy, and I'm not even saying he's a bad guy for the other stuff. It's like let's just say I fucking disagree 100%. Let's not talk about it ever again.
Well, that's the other thing, you can talk to him about it, which I quite like. And I think that's the thing they've got with Grim Jim. I feel like whenever I'm talking to him, he's like stuck in like the fucking 70s, or like he's stuck in like Thatcher era England. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the way I view him. And it's like, man,
it's like look around.
The world's really changed, and like I appreciate him for it, but at the same time, it's like, man, you need to get like the future is now, old man meme almost. That's what I feel like whenever I'm talking to him sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I think I've tried to do that a couple of times. Like, Jim, like, look around, all these people. Yeah. That canceled you. Most of the time you're agreeing with them on all this other stuff. I'm like, when are you going to wake up and realize, like, Jesus, like the world is different now.
And like the other big thing I think with him is, again, he tries to like get back in with these people that clearly don't want anything to do with him. And that's kind of like, I don't know, it's just sad, man. I feel bad for him. Like, and he lets it get to him as well, which I feel really for him.
Yeah, John Cleese was doing that. Speaking of someone on your side of the pond, he's just like, I need to get back in the fucking good graces of all these monsters. So I'll start tweeting about Trump. Trump's not your fucking president. I'm sorry. He's our delight or our problem, depending on how you look at him. So it's like, why are you doing this? It's such a transparent thing to do if you just were like, see, guys, I'm not really.
Likes, though. It gets me likes. What are you talking about? I don't know. Like, honestly,
but it really doesn't, because the people hate him for being old and white. They just there's no way beyond that. There's no fucking way beyond that for a lot of these people.
And you could never do Monty Python today. There's too much of it. That's just cancelable. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work.
The thing is, you could with half the population. Half the population would think it's as funny as ever. But he wants to get back in the club of the people who hate him, hate his work, hate everything about him. That just shows what a good job those people have done, like just twisting reality.
Is it not?
I wish these people would understand how liberating it is just to tell someone, like, just fuck off.
Is it
I
not like
fucking hate you.
There's like a George Orwell quote about the like targeting comedy, you know, because I suppose it's like it's a form of rhetoric, I suppose, isn't it? It's the idea of if you can control speech and all that sort of stuff, like the idea of if you can control what people find entertaining, you know, it's the ultimate form of control almost, you know, and I suppose John Cleese would be a good target for such a thing. You know what I mean? I suppose we saw that a few years back. Like, you know, it's all started. Like, when was the last time you saw something that, or like any like stand-up comedian actually being funny? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
I
it's
mean,
not like
people are like, oh, well, you know, kind of Bill Burr. Well, Bill Burr is really he's become like Hollywood soft now.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave Chappelle even like
Dave
he'll do
Chappelle's
things,
not bad,
but
you know, he's actually.
He's funny, but it's like he always has to put a little bit of bait in there too to be like, see, I'm not going too far to that right side. And it's like you don't have to fucking do that. Just go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Nick DiPaolo's pretty funny, but he's not. He's more of like I think he.
Oh, Blazing Saddles. Yeah, you couldn't do that now. No, that's like the window. That's like the window.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles. Yeah, no. I mean, But I mean, the thing is, you could, and I think you could make a lot of money if you just did it defiantly and said, we know everybody's going to hate this. This is how we feel. If you don't like it, in so many words, just, you know, fuck off. You know, it's not for you. And you know what? That's sort of how you win. I mean, by sort of revealing how stupid and retarded these people are.
There was,
you're not going to change their minds, so you might as well just get people to laugh at them.
I was talking to Megan the other day, actually, about this, and I said, I still think about, because I loved that TV show House of Cards when it came out. I thought it was like the best show ever. Like,
that's like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, there's a bit in it. He was like, I could smell a cock off your breath, and I thought it was like the funniest thing ever at the time. And I'm still reaching about. It's like, me, why did it have to get cancelled? Megan was like, yeah, because he fucks kids. That's why, James. And it's like, yeah, it's Hollywood. They all fuck kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's been someone in the production line that's fucked a kid somewhere. So like, I don't know, man. You know, like, yeah, you go to the cinema recently. Bad. There's something going on there, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he was his like actually like a kid, or was it just like a really young, like it was like a teenager or like a mid-teenager or something?
How it came out was I think there was something sketchy there, because it was a guy off the new Star, well, it wasn't new Star Trek, but like Netflix Star Trek. It was like I think he was like the blonde engineer. And I don't know if he was I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like, you know, he might have been. Might have been a kid. I couldn't. I don't honestly know. But like, you know, it's Kevin Spacey, man. The guy's fucking creepy as sin. You know what I mean? Like, if there's one out of them, it's like, yeah, you've got. There's a good line I always think of, like, you know, if someone looks like they fuck kids, they probably fuck kids. You know, like, like, you know, if someone who looks like a pedo, it's like, yeah, you look like a pedo. Well, you probably are, man. Not gonna lie. You know, it's one of the few sort of crimes where if you look at someone, it's like, yeah, you look like what do you call that guy? Thingy Pepper. Do you remember that old meme? Brian Pepper. Google Brian Pepper. Put that in. I'll send you it on the private chat. Through this picture up. There you go, Brian Pepper. It was a meme like from like 2005.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. So like Brian Pepper. Yeah, he got like, you know, that's a mugshot from sexual assault or something. It's like, yeah, you got that look about you, man. Not gonna lie, you know, you kind of have that look, you know. So
Brian Peppers,
Brian Pepper,
yeah, guys, just Google it. I don't think I'm gonna put that up here. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what's wrong with the guy's face, man. Not gonna lie, like,
yeah, but it's pretty fucking, yeah. Oof. Aye. All right. So we're at almost 2 hours. James, why don't we let everybody go? Again, I'll put it in the chat one last time.
Yeah, sure.
At the cost of $0. Actually, check it out. It really is something you can use. You can. Plus, there's like a ton of you know, like creatures in the back. So if nothing, you could just
like give us. Is there any bit that you particularly enjoyed? You never said. Give me. Let's see. What was yay? What was nay? What was dog shit?
Oh, out of this?
Bullet point, because that's us.
Yeah.
What was dog shit? Go on. You can tell us.
No, there's
Go on.
there's
Damn,
nothing
damn,
dog shit. There's nothing dog shit. This to me,
Alright,
this
okay.
is right up my alley because I'm not looking for like a world spanning at my position right now, you know, in DMing.
Yeah.
I want little things like this where I can fit in. I can fit in like, oh, there's a tavern where they're serving food. Oh, wait, some of that food is like human body parts, you know? It's like, all right, I can use things like that. I can use the cult, you know, behind all this.
Like it's drag and drop. That's kind of what I wanted to go for. Because and again, like the systems like that, Dice and Demons is like that. Like I try to go for, everyone has their system that they use. Like, you know, the Dice and Demons has zero reason to exist. Like, why should it exist? The only reason why it exists is because I don't want to make games for another system. Like, if I'm going to get cancelled, I'm going to cancel my fucking self. I'm not going to make books for a system that's going to get cancelled or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. Like,
that's why that's what Greg Gillespie did. You know, he did Dragon Slayer, which I mean, he went all out balls to the wall. But I think a lot of it was just because this is the system he uses when he writes his adventures. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm going to protect myself and just do it." You know, so it's a smart move. So yeah, so good on you for
makes sense
for doing that as well.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
again,
guys.
it does feel like, oh, another fantasy system, guys! Wow, I'm so excited!
Well,
whoa!
Grab it or don't. Either way, you can use it without much trouble. I mean, you know, it's obviously all these systems now. You know, they do have a common, like a Rosetta Stone sort of quality. So yeah. All right. Well, stick around a moment, James. I'm just going to end the stream normally. No outro or anything. Guys, thank you so much for showing up in force on a Saturday afternoon, short notice. Hope you check out. There's a free version of Bastard Princess. Put it one last time in the chat. Download it. Yeah. Show James some love. And
I've got other stuff for free, by the way, as well. If you go on the website,
yeah, just check out the whole site. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll farm you data somehow. You know, I'll work it out. You know, what I mean? I'll get there.
Good minis there too. Yeah, so check out the minis too. They're really, really cool. So, all right, peace, guys. Take care.
Yep. Bye bye.